What were the expectations from Damian Lillard being on this team?
Look better.
Well, yeah, one, look better, but two, to just be like a vastly needle pushing move for the Bucks, because yes, Dame wasn't good defensively, never has been, to be very honest with you. But Dame's offense improved playmaking over the years, even was supposed to make up much more than enough for the slight decrease or even major decrease in defense. So Dame was supposed to be very good for this team, and he ended up low key probably being the reason that they're going to get eliminated at some point, because there's no way the offensive capabilities he's shown thus far is good enough.
I would just say at the very least one of his more efficient seasons throughout his career. I did not expect Dame's efficiency to go down with more spacing and more offensive weapons next to him.
He was supposed to make them elite. Point, period, and blank. Getting him was supposed to make Milwaukee one of the elite teams in the NBA. I don't think, and then it boiled down to, what do you consider an elite team? We can have that conversation, but I genuinely don't think, and I don't think the Bucks are bad. I think the Bucks are a good team, hell, great team in even night. I just don't think they're elite, and I don't think he's doing enough of what he was supposed to do when he originally got there.
I think we probably are a little too critical of a young Damian Lillard. It looks like
He's 30. He's 30. He's 30 plus.
I'm holding him accountable to what I expected out of, like, that's like, we had this guy in conversation.
Let me say this. Their offense is better this year. I don't know what we expected other than that. Like, I don't know if we expected the defense to be better, if we expect them to be world beaters. They're still the second seed in the East. I really don't.
I mean, for that point, you can asterisk that and say, yeah, they're the second seed now because Joel's hurt. With a healthy Embiid, they're not the second seed in the East. They're the third seed. But that's just, you know.
He also only got 46 wins. I mean,
yeah, I'm trying to calculate what that's on pace for.
And can I ask, how much did they offense increase by in whatever metric you're looking at?
They're on pace to win 53 wins this season. I don't know about y'all, but I thought the Eastern Conference was going to be Boston, Milwaukee, both 55 plus win, 56, 57, 60 win teams, and then the rest of the crew. And there's like a very big gap between those two.
4 points better, but a better offense.
And in terms of, I'm going to say, in terms of where they were last year to this year, in the NBA standards, where were they? Like, I understand they got better, but in terms of them being, they were 8th last year. Are they 16th now? Like, not 16th, but are they 6th now? Like, type thing.
That 12th last year, offensive rating wise. This year they are 5th.
Okay, so I mean, in terms of the league, they're definitely better in terms of the league, which they should be. I just think that even with that, defensively, what are they? How far did they drop off severely defensively?
This year they are 17th. Last year they are 4th.
So
but,
they,
I didn't
essentially traded.
Yeah, they try. But that's honestly, I expected that. Not just the trade with Dame, but just some other factors too. Like, I expected them to be worse defense. Everything that's going on, like,
I expected them to be worse defensively by last year's standards. I didn't expect them to be this bad defensively that they are. I understood going into it a 33-year-old. No, and that's what I was about to say. With their defense, I can't even solely put that on Dame. He has a part of the blame with the defense, but I can't say the defensive struggles is just Dame. I figured this team, knowing who they're getting, would have compensated better with other assets. I believe at the time of making the trade to get a Damian Lillard, you would have did your due diligence in free agency and afterwards to try to get other people to come and play defense on the perimeter and kind of hide him, kind of Warrior-esque. Even with Stephen Curry, everyone had the notion that Steph was a bad defender, but you underrated what he was off ball. With Dame, I thought we were going to see more of that. Like, you're going into a more defensive system, and you would pick your defense up some. Like, obviously, if you're a bad defender, now you could be a below-average defender because you're actually playing with a good defense. But they didn't even do right by Dame by putting other great defenders on this team to compensate for the loss that they had. So that's kind of crazy. I mean, that's more of a Bucks problem than it is a Dame problem. But we're lying if we're saying Dame isn't, and you can even say the biggest contributor and factor to why the defense is as bad as it's gotten.
Before we move forward with the rest of the podcast, we want to shout out the sponsors of this podcast, Prize Picks, our personal favorite way to play daily fantasy sports. The game is very simple. All you got to do is download their app, go on their website. They got a bunch of different sports up top with a bunch of different statistics. And if you know ball for real, you can win some money. Let's go ahead and make some picks today. The Lakers are facing the Sacramento Kings. Damo, do you think Austin Reeves can get more or less than 24.5 points, rebounds, plus assists?
This is a big game for us. We need this dub. Give me the more.
Scoot Henderson facing the Atlanta Hawks. Do you think Scoot Henderson can get more or less than 4.5 assists?
I'm the biggest Scoot hater in the land. He's gonna forget his guys at home. Let me get the less.
We'll go ahead and put $10 on this entry, place entry, and boom. That is how you make an entry. And if you guys use code LKIB, you guys can get up to 100% match on your first deposit, up to $100. So if you put in 20, they'll give you 20. Now you got $40 to work with, up to $100. Links to everything will be in the description. And shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this video.
It's like and maybe I'm looking at it too narrowly or obtusely. Damn, those are two completely different words. But maybe I'm just looking at this too simple. But like, this is his worst season since like his junior year in the league. Outside of the season where he only plays 29 games and gets hurt, he's only shooting 43% from the field. He's only shooting 36% from three. I ain't gonna lie, he's killing it from the free throw line, I guess, for my true shooting guys. And then he's only averaging 24 points. Mind you, this was a guy that, while we all said was improper, we at least understood why he was getting is he better than Curry? Is he the best point guard in the league? Is he the best shooter in the league? Like, obviously, those conversations were stupid. We called him out for being stupid. But the point is, he was closer than that than this. Like, he's not, I don't know. Maybe I'm drunk, but I do not see how he wouldn't be just around here.
And I'll say this, and Troll hat off. Like Troll hat off, let's take the Dame bitch shit away from it. I'm me being genuine. With this team, I'm seeing people bring up how they've been since the All-Star break. Adding Pat Bev, as much as I hate that nigga, definitely is helping this team become better, and they're going to lock in. A lot of things, I know I try to run my victory lap because the narrative is, Dame's been shitty. In reality, Dame hasn't been as bad as people are making him out to be. And the gripes I have and will really prove he has been disappointing will happen this postseason. Everything I'm kind of fucking around with and with the jokes, it's all jokes and kikiing. But real shit, the worth and value of Dame, that's going to come in the postseason.
That's what I was going to say.
People were bringing up how great Giannis has been. This is what this really was for. This move is really for you to have two stars. One of them clearly to get you through the year. Giannis with his defense, durability, his ability to just be dominant. In the playoffs, that's when a guy like Dame being on his team, you're really going to see the difference. In other years, you're going to see the difference with Drew Holiday running in the top of the key during the playoffs than Drew Holiday. Now, than Damian Lillard. Now, whether that's a good or bad thing, that'll be the tell. But I feel like that's when we can run our victory laps, or that's when we can make these brash, harsh takes. That's when we can be real about what we're seeing and say, is it really disappointing or not? Regular season, at the end of the day, it is the regular season. With the information Omar gave, their offense definitely did get better. It got better in terms of just strictly compared to them last year and compared to the NBA. Now, hey, beat me there. If you got better in terms of the rest of the league as well, and you're a top 5 offense throughout the year, all right, hey, Dame has something to do with that. Defensively, they dropped off. Like I said, Dame has something to do with that, but this team has something to do with it. But they went and corrected around All-Star break how you should. Now, I'm always going to say you should do more, but they did something. So they're trying to address the issue. And it's working.
They just needed a dog. They literally, and I hate to be that boy good guy. Well, I actually don't. They just needed a dog in the playoffs. Looking at Middleton, all right, Giannis, he ran into the wall 3 times. You can't just get the bucket. Middleton, if you're getting older, you can't just get the bucket. We needed that guy, and that is literally who and what Dame is for them. So
yeah, this is nothing new. I think 2 things can be true at once here, but I don't want to drag this any further after this point. I guess one of y'all can have last word. But in the sense of, I said the same thing in the offseason. I said the same thing when they got Dame and why I was huge on the trade, that this is a person that, hey, when the game slows down in the half court set, instead of Giannis and then dumping off to Chris Middleton, nigga, that is Damian Lillard. Like, it's going to be a whole different problem. So I agree. In the postseason, that's where the trade is going to be fully optimized. I said this shit when he first got over there. I was like, go do your Googles, nigga. I said that. However, I think 2 things can be true at once. He's just been more disappointing because, again, as Souls mentioned earlier, I thought this was a team in green all day, every day in the East. And now I'm like, yo, it's Boston. And then now we're talking for the rest of the East. But I think number 1 is clearly Boston. And if I had too high expectations, go for it. But that's how I feel in the regular season. He's definitely been.
Let me
overwhelming for me.
y'all don't think it's Boston, Milwaukee, and a gap between the rest of the East right now?
I think it's yes, but I think there's also a little bit of space between Boston and Milwaukee now. I think Boston is definitely.
It was supposed to be Boston, Milwaukee, everyone else, but
now
it's Boston, Milwaukee, then
everyone else.
Even if you just saw how you did them hands, I guess I hear you.
That's what I'm about to say.
Dude, the question was who disappointed. The question was who disappointed in the regular season. I don't know why it's so crazy to say Damian Lillard underperformed in the regular season. I understand his values in the playoffs, but when it comes to in the regular season, bro is not even shooting 45% from the field and he's shooting.
Am I saying anything that's like too even obscure? He's shooting 42%. That's his lowest since again his junior year, or no, his fourth year in the league. 36 from 3. That's just not like. That's his lowest damn near ever.
I just didn't think he was gonna come over and put the exact same stats up.
Yeah, like I don't know, like am I?
I don't think I personally I thought offensively he was going to come over with less volume, better efficiency. Yeah. So to see him come over and essentially let me pull the stats up. I'm going to say let me come over and check because I'm going by based off what he said and just what I've seen. And it looked like that nigga is taking more threes. But let me check because maybe that's not true. But I do want to compare the volume.
No, he's shooting less threes. But I was expecting like 25 and 9, 47, 42, 93 type shit.
No, he gets his shit off.
I thought with this less volume, he would have better efficiency. That's what I genuinely thought. So the fact that he is putting up less volume, but he's also less efficient, that is, I don't give a damn how good the team looks or is. That is a problem in terms of that's not a good look for Damian Lillard by Dame standards. Like the whole thing with Dame and the argument that motherfuckers will have with a guy like Dame, especially when we're talking about 3-point shooting. Oh, the reason why he's not always shooting 40 or 39% or he's shooting these low percentages from 3. Oh, it's because he shoots them deep and he shoots a lot and it's the volume. Well, all right, well, now the volume is being cut down, which it should because you should be doing something different running with Giannis versus running with fucking Yusuf Nurkic, but your efficiency isn't getting better. So you're not even hitting him at a higher clip. You're just not hitting your shots. And you're taking your shots. You're not even taking different or better shots now. You're still taking Damian Lillard shots for the most part, even just not as efficient.